Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'll be taking you through the process of making this beautiful Bubu dress. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and also give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. So guys, these are the measurements we'll be needing for this tutorial. We'll be needing the shoulder, sleeve length, hip circumference and gown length. So for this I'll be using an Ankara and plain crepe fabric. For the Ankara fabric, I'll be using about 3.5 yards of Ankara fabric. You can decide to use any fabric of your choice, guys. So for the plain fabric, I'll be using about half yard of plain crepe. You can decide to use Duchess, you can use bridal satin, you can use ashoke. Guys, just get creative with it, okay? So guys, let's get right into the tutorial. For this I'll be cutting the gown length on the side of this fabric that has this label. This is the width of the Ankara fabric, and that's because Ankara fabric normally comes in the length of 45 inches, so that won't be enough, so I'm cutting using the width instead. So for the measurement of the gown, I'm using the gown length is 60 inches. I'm going to be adding 2 inches for hemming allowance and an extra half inch for joining the shoulders. So guys, this is it. I have gone ahead to cut, and then I folded it into 4. Both the front and back pieces will be cutting together, okay? So guys, the next thing we are going to do now is to measure what we have here. And what I have here is about 22 inches. So just watch how I placed my tape to measure. This is the width of the dress. This is about 22 inches. Remember, this is on fold, guys. This is folded into 4. For the sake of beginners, I'll just break this down. The shoulder measurement I'm using is 16 inches divided by 2, which is 8. I have marked that down. And then for the sleeve length, this is about 14 inches. You can decide to use your preferred sleeve length, okay? So guys, the neck width I'm using is 3.5 inches. I'm using this for both the front and the back. And then I will go down by 1.5 inches on the other side, and then I'm just going to slope it, connect it into the neck width measurement that we took, which was 3.5 inches. So after that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to take my neck depth measurement. This is for the back. I'm using 2 inches. I just went ahead to mark that down, and then I'll go ahead to connect it like so. Then confirm the 3.5 on the lower part, and then curve it into the neckline. Then after that, the next thing we are going to be doing is to mark down our sleeve opening, and for this dress I'll be using 10 inches. If you are of a smaller size, you can decide to use 9 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is to place my tape on the shoulder line and then mark down 26 inches, which is going to be the hip point. So on that point, I will just mark the hip measurement divided by 4, which is 11 inches. The hip is 44 divided by 4 is 11 inches. I'll go ahead to add 5 inches for ease. So guys, after marking that down, I will just go ahead to connect that into the sleeve opening. So guys, after that, the next thing I will do is to take the same measurement I have on the hip line on the hem line of this dress. So you are just going to take the same measurement on the hem line, mark it down, and then connect straight into the hip line. So guys, after doing that, we are done with the sides of this dress. The next thing we are going to do is to cut out. Just watch carefully to see how I am going to cut this out, guys. Please guys, don't forget to subscribe and also give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. So guys, this is how I'm cutting it out. I started with the slope And then after that, I'll just go ahead to trim the sleeve opening and then also cut out the sides. Remember that we are cutting both the front and back pieces together. So guys, after cutting this out, the next thing I'll be doing is to go ahead and notch the middle of the neckline like so, and then I'm going to just trim off because I want to remove one piece of this that is going to serve as the front piece. So I just went ahead to mark my fabric to know the right side and the wrong side of this fabric. So I'm just going to take out one piece that will serve as the front, and for this piece I'll just go ahead to arrange it, make sure it's laying well, and then we'll go ahead to cut off the neckline. So I just went with my tape to confirm the 3.5 inches neck width, and then I'll just cut this part out. Guys, we are done with the back piece. The next thing to do is to work on the front piece, and we are going to be working on the neckline of the front piece. So you just arrange this, make sure that the sides and everything is equal and it's laying well. Then I will go ahead to measure my neck width for the front piece, which is also 3.5 inches. Then after that, I'll go ahead to mark down the neck depth, and I'm using 10 inches for this. So you just mark down your 10 inches and then you go in with your tape on that point by 1 inch, as you can see. Then I will go ahead to use my rule and then connect it into the neckline. So guys, you just connect it with your rule into the 3.5 inches. After that, the next thing I'm going to do is to cut this out. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe and also give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. So guys, that is it for the front piece. The next thing we are going to do is to join the shoulders of both the front and the back pieces together. Place it right sides facing each other, and then you sew on both sides of the shoulders. You just go ahead and join them together. I will take this to the sewing machine, stitch it down, and show you guys how it looks. So guys, this is how it looks after I was done stitching down. You can see how this looks. So the next thing we are going to do now is to measure around the neckline. So I will just use my measuring tape to take the measurement around the neckline. Just watch carefully to see the part I am measuring. So from that point, I'm going to measure around to the other point of the neckline. So guys, after measuring around the neckline, I got about 30 inches. So that is what I'll be working with for my plain fabric. So I've gone ahead to arrange my fabric. I'll be cutting about 30 inches on this piece. So I am actually cutting it in excess because it's better for it to be excess than for it to be short. So I trimmed off the edges to make sure that it is equal. Then I'm going to mark 5 inches and then connect with my rule. So after this, I'll just go ahead to cut this piece out. So guys, after cutting this piece out, the next thing we'll be doing is to cut the plain fabric on the chest area of this dress. So guys, this is 2.5 inches on fold. So I'll just go ahead to iron this out, and then I will cut the fabric for the chest area. For this, I'm using the measurement of 11.5 inches for the length and then 11 inches for the width. You can make this as big or as small as you want. It all depends on your choice, guys. So after marking down, I will just go ahead to use my rule to connect the points. So guys, after connecting the points, I'll just go ahead to cut this piece out. Please guys, don't forget to subscribe and also give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. So I'll just carefully cut this out, and then after cutting it out, I'll go ahead to create the slanted shape on this piece. So guys, I'll be using my rule to do that. I'll just go ahead to eyeball it and then slant it out. You can decide to measure this if you want. For mine, I used this is about 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So you can just get creative with this. So after cutting it out, the next thing to do is to go ahead and iron this by 1/2 inch on all the sides. So guys, I will go ahead and iron this and show you guys how it looks. So after ironing it, guys, this is how it looks. You can see I've gone ahead to iron all the sides, and also I've gone ahead to iron this piece so it will lay well. Then after that, I will just go ahead to sew it around the neckline. So guys, just watch carefully to see how I'm going to sew this. You can go ahead to use your pins to pin it down, but for me, I will just sew this. I'll take it to the sewing machine and stitch it down. So I'll just sew from this point around the neckline to the other point, and then when I'm done, I'll just go ahead to trim off the excess. So guys, I'll take this to the sewing machine, stitch it down and show you how it looks. So this is how it looks after I was done stitching it down. I'll just go ahead to trim off the excess. So after trimming off the excess, I will go ahead to also stitch down this point like so. Just hold it down like so, and then I'll come and show you guys how it looks. So guys, this is how it looks after I stitched it down. The next thing I will do now is to bring the other piece and then sew it on this. Just watch carefully to see how I'll be sewing this. So guys, I went ahead to measure the both sides to ensure that they are equal. Then after that, I'll just go ahead to stitch this down. I will just flip it over like so, and then stitch it from the inside and then bring it back. So I'll do this and show you guys how it looks. This is how it looks after stitching it. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to use my pins to hold this down. So guys, you need to be careful with this step. You don't have to rush it. This part of the video is sped up, and that is why it is going this fast, but you need to take your time for this process. So guys, after pinning it around, the next thing I will do is to go ahead and stitch it down. But please, when doing this, make sure you use a matching thread. So guys, I'm just going to take this to the sewing machine and then stitch it down, and then come and show you guys how it looks. I will stitch around those points like so to the other end. So guys, after I was done stitching, this is how it looks. You can see how neat this looks. This is how yours should also look. Then you can go ahead to use an overlocking stitch to finish the neckline. For the sleeve opening, I'll go ahead to hem it inwards by 1/2 inch. As you can see, I folded in by 1/2 inch twice, and then I'll just stitch that down. I'll also repeat the same step on the other side. Then after that, this is how it looks. The next thing to do is to join the sides. So guys, on the sleeve point, I will just take about half inch from that point like so, and then I'll sew down. When I go down, I can go in by about 1 inch. I'll just sew that straight down to the hem. I will repeat the same step on the other side as well, and then I will also hem the lower part of this dress and then show you guys how it looks. So guys, this is the final result. You can see how neat it's looking. I'll just go ahead to place this on the mannequin so you guys will see. Please don't forget to subscribe and also give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. I have a lot of interesting videos coming up on this channel. Bye, see you in my next one.